What's up, Smashers? It's a day at CSA. Guess what we're doing? Thoracic Mobility. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna walk around. By the way, you gotta check this out. I have to do this because she's a badass, really great friend of mine. But look at that. That's Jack Jessica. Games athlete, twice. My age. That's pretty savage. Hey, and in case you wanna know what most of the CrossFitters here look like, this is most of the CrossFitters right there. They're none of these guys. They're all like that. And then I watched her completely annihilate a workout about 15 minutes ago. She was destroying it, picking it apart methodically, piece by piece. It was incredible. So anyway, thoracic mobility. So a lot of times what happens is, let me put this up here. So what happens is we lose a lot of mobility. Yeah, I'm trying to get my stand. I almost said something completely inappropriate, but okay, so what I'm doing is I'm setting up the stand, but you hear all of, just nothing but fun here. It's just good times. But so thoracic spine, what happens is we lose a lot of that thoracic extension. One thing that's missing is that thoracic rotation. A lot of the rotation that most people have, listen, you're gonna get all kinds of gnarly mid-back pain. You're gonna wind up going into extension in that lumbar spine because your thoracic spine can't extend. What you can't do is, I'll go this way so you can see what I'm doing. You can't get that arm all the way overhead because what winds up happening is you get into this position, you kind of hit a wall because those thoracic vertebrae are kind of wedge-shaped, right? They're wedge-shaped, super tight down the front, anchored by the rib cage. There's a lot of stuff in the way. But we wind up being in this position, so in order to get into a good overhead position, we wind up hyperextending that lumbar spine to go and say, look it, which means you drop into things like thrusters. You wind up doing a thruster like this. So in order to get into a good thruster position, instead of being like this, you hyperextend and you go, oh, look at my thrusters. So all that's gonna do is jack up your spinal mechanics. It's gonna jack up your hip mechanics, your pelvis mechanics, or your pelvic mechanics, and it's gonna even affect ankles, elbows, shoulders. Everything's gonna be kind of chewed up and run through a meat grinder. So instead, what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on changing the rotation of the thoracic spine so the ribs move better. That's number one. So the intercostals will clear out a little bit. So inspiration, expiration, right? A lot more efficient. Workouts are more efficient. Number two is we're going to work on that ability to extend and contract or flex the thoracic spine, which means you're going to be able to open up that thoracic spine. So if you look at my spine, this is a rounded out position. You wind up walking around like Quasimodo. We're going to be able to extend that thoracic spine so we get into a good overhead position. We're not hyperextended and not shearing that lumbar spine or that chewing up that neck in the process. This stuff's really funky cool. Here's the best part. Fixes shoulder mechanics. You don't think your thoracic spine has anything to do with your shoulders? Where do the scapulas sit? They sit right against the posterior portion of the rib cage and they need to slide around up, down, back and forth from the rotation. You've seen me do that probably 50 times by now. So I'm going to show you 3 things. That's it. Simple 3. Super triple. That's it. So we'll get hook grip Mickey out of the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. Hook grip Mickey. Pretty savage. Let's move this way. So I have a band attached to the rig. Let's see if you can see the ball. You can. Yeah, money, money, money. I know right now all you're doing is looking at my butt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a band. This is for lateral movement of the thoracic spine. So we're going with purple today. So the band is gonna be cinched up against the bottom of the rig. And all we're gonna do is, it's at the very bottom, so it forces us into kind of fulcrum over this med ball. Don't use a foam roller for this. Use a wall ball. Use a 20. Man up and use a 20. So I'm posted out with my leg here, and I'm just gonna let myself kind of fulcrum over this med ball. This is number 1, or this wall ball. You're gonna hang out like this for how long? 2 minutes. Do it on the other side, and then just for your own sake, do a test retest. Super important. You'll see your shoulders have improved just by doing this, by opening up the ability to laterally move your spine and to open up those ribs a lot more. That's number 1. Number 2, super chill. Check this out. All you're gonna do is you get into a quadruped position, elbow goes down in the front. So this is how you wanna be. So it doesn't matter whatever side. So you're gonna get the elbow down on the front. This one goes on the back of the head. So elbows down between the knees, all the way up, all the way down. All the way up, all the way down. That's all you're doing. 3 sets of 10. That's gonna work on that rotation of that thoracic spine. Last one, man, I'll tell you, this is the money move. This one's so ugly. It's so ugly and so effective all at once. I'm gonna roll this back. Told you we're going with purple today. Got the purple. You're gonna need a barbell, a band, and a foam roller. So check this out. You're gonna put the band around the elbows so you can see. Got the barbell here. Hey, you're gonna fulcrum over the foam roll. Use a foam roll, not a med ball on this one. You're gonna take the mobility band and you're gonna load up around the elbows. Good. So I'm going just distal to the elbow, which means just past the elbow. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna reach back. I'm gonna go as wide as possible, and then I'm just gonna let my butt sink. And so I'm locked out in this position. I'm gonna hang out. How long? 2 minutes. So this forces the elbows to lock out, and it forces you into a good overhead position, and it opens up the thoracic spine. So fulcrum over the foam roll, let the band lock out the elbows, and just chillax, ninjas. That's all you gotta do. That's number 3. And when you throw up a leather work boot because it hurts so bad, don't blame me. But that one is super funkadelic and it works. So now you have some really gnarly good overhead position. Ribs move the way they're supposed to. Scapula moves the way they're supposed to. Shoulders move the way they're supposed to. Hanging out at CSA. I'm Trev, SmashweRx. I check you guys out tomorrow. Have an awesome day.